So let's get started with this new episode. And this new episode is episode 3. And I'm going to teach you part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 will be about your pre-production, which is your planning stages. Part 2 is your production. That's when you're actually going out and filming what you need to capture. And then part 3 is your post-production. That's when you gather all your media, all your footage that you took, and that's when you're going to start your editing, and you're actually going to be putting your story together. You know, it's a great thing. You know, I'm very happy, I'm very honored for you to invite me on your computer screens, onto your cell phones, and just letting me into your life and listening to what I have to say about filmmaking, and especially incorporating our Hawaiian culture within this filmmaking style because I'm from Hawaii. So with that, I just wanted to thank you guys so much. I'm very happy. I'm in my own studio, and I'm happy because it's my own space, right? So I get to actually explain what it takes to become a filmmaker and my way, and I can do whatever I want. And that's what I want you to do in creating your own projects, is that you have no limits, and there's nobody to tell you how to create your own YouTube channel or your own videos but you. So that's the power that I want to give you, is allowing yourself to make decisions however you feel freely without anybody telling you or putting boundaries all around you of saying you can't do it. I say you can and you will, and that's what I want to help you out with. You know, for me, I'm a kind of director that likes to be involved in every part of the process in my film, because I want to just make sure that the direction of what my vision is going to be the right vision. So usually I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm the cameraman, and I'm also the editor. And some people can do this and some people can't. You know, you have to be quick about when decisions need to be made. You need to be quick in switching gears from one position to the next. And you have to also think about is that when you're doing this, people are watching. So you need to do it in a professional way and not just going crazy, running around the place and, you know, not knowing what to do. I want you to be a strong leader so that when people see you working, they can have the confidence that you know what you're doing. Every production company wants to know what is your pre-production, your production, and post-production stages, and how you're going to be able to fulfill that. And what I'm going to do is walk with you through each of those parts so you get a better understanding of what it takes to do a film. And so we're going to go into it, and the first part is pre-production. Pre-production is the beginning stages of coming up with an idea and you just want to go ahead and do it. Or just what we do is we brainstorm, right? Brainstorming is you have an idea that you want to film about a project, but you just don't know if you have an audience or what the idea or the structure of that looks like. So what you're going to do, and what I do, is brainstorm. I did the exact same thing that what I learned from elementary school about creating a web. You know, you do a circle in the middle, you put what you want in the middle, whatever topic or subject, and then how are you going to be able to explain it or tell that story that's in the middle. You need to use that. You need to start, what's your topic? Some people will have a title, some people don't. It's okay. But put your idea in the middle and in the center. And then around it is how you're going to be able to tell this story or this topic that's so important to you. So you have also different types of films to create. Are you creating a web video? Are you creating a short film? Are you creating a documentary, a feature documentary? Is it longer than an hour? Are you creating a feature film, which is a narrative? It's more script writing, and you're going to also have talents in it. Part of this pre-production, you're going to have your planning steps, right? You're going to have your idea, what you're going to film about, what your subject is about, and then you're also going to have to do your research, right? Your research is basically going out, looking for storytellers, looking for interviews or actors that could do a good job on telling your story. And also you're going to have to find out who's your audience. You know, what kind of audience are you looking for? You know, I'm going to give you an example. For my film, Kapu, Sacred Hawaiian Burials, my audience was who? You know, my audience was obviously Hawaiians, because it's a Hawaiian cultural film, so obviously Hawaiians want to learn about their culture. Then I take it a step further, is who else would want to learn about this? Then you take it a step further, then you look at the colleges and universities. You know, you have students that is researching and getting their degree in a specific field about just history in general, world history. There's also museums and Smithsonians out there that may want and could use this information and teach their visitors. And all this is happening today. You know, I'm teaching at schools, I'm teaching at universities, I'm also doing showings at museums and art galleries, and then also even to the government. You know, so all this is playing roles, and I wrote all these different things of who my audience was before I even did my film. And today it's coming to reality and I'm actually doing it. So likewise for you, who's your audience? You know, is your audience just an audience of one, yourself? And if the audience is just yourself, it's okay too. I'm going to tell you too is that, you know, as a filmmaker, we all have this what we call passionate project. When I'm mentioning that, it means that every director has one film that it's going to take them years and years to create, and it's a personal journey, it's a personal film to them, and they don't care if they're going to have 100,000 or 1,000,000 people see it, or just themselves. It's just a self-gratification kind of thing. Good example, Steven Spielberg, right? He did one about his mom, right? He did a lot of great films, right? He did Jaws, he did E.T., he did The Color Purple, Lincoln, Jurassic Park. And Steven Spielberg did all these great films, right? But he also wanted to do one that was his personal journey and his film that maybe it won't sell a lot of and have a lot of viewers and have a great audience for this, but it was his personal story. It's about his life and about his mother. Aloha no kako. I just wanted to remind you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hawaiian in the City, if you would like to join me and watch more videos of my episodes of how to film in Hawaii 101. I'm going to let you get back to the video, but until next time, ahui ho. Likewise for me, I wanted to do a personal story, and that was about our ancestors' burials. And something that was personal to me was that my family's protecting our burial cave, right? And the information that I wanted to learn from it was going to be very valuable to me because I am native Hawaiian and I wanted to learn more about my culture. And this film ended up taking not 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. This film that I've created took over 20 years in the making. So pre-production is very important. It's your planning stage. It's your where you're going to actually get your idea, do a web about it, do research, you know. And then also with pre-production, we also got to think about, it's not only planning all these things, but you also got to make sure that even before you start your film, very important, there's also permits and insurance sometimes. Before you even film a scene at a location, do you have the permits for it? Do you have the insurance that goes along to protect your company, to protect the people who's helping you? Because if a camera falls, or like for me, a good example is that I filmed at Iolani Palace. It's a Hawaiian palace. I had to get insurance. What is the insurance for? The insurance is for, hey, if my camera guy is not paying attention and he backs up and he hits a vase and knocks it over and cracks and breaks the vase that's 200 or 300 years old, who has to pay for it? And without insurance, you ain't gonna have the money to pay for it. So that's what you have to all think about. So it's all comes with your budgeting. It all comes with planning in your pre-production stage, so that you're not gonna have these obstacles pop up and you're gonna have to deal with it when it arises. So that's a difficult thing, but this is just some things to think about. So it's very interesting, it's very fun, it's very challenging, but you can do it. You just got to believe in yourself, and never give up. Don't give up. Okay, but I just want to make sure that before you start, really think about it and just don't jump into it. Really think about how much time that this film is going to take. Can you really do it? Everybody works, everybody has families, so you have to incorporate all that into if you're going to do it or not. because a lot of times people don't explain that, you know, this kind of films affects families, because that is like your number one goal. Once you start it, you want to complete it, and there's going to be a lot of different barriers in the way to prevent you from completing it, and it can get frustrating, and then sometimes you take it out on your families, and that's not a good thing. So you got to balance everything out, and you got to have, and you have to know that this is part of creating a film. It will be challenging. It will never be easy. I'm going to let you know again, it will never be easy. This is not an easy road. So if you're planning on making a film, plan as if the road is very tough, very dark, rough, and almost impossible to make. So if you have that mindset, then you'll be fine. And I also wanted to mention that in the pre-production stage, you're going to have to do a treatment. That's just 101 in creating a film. And I kind of mentioned it a little bit in the beginning that if you don't create a treatment, nobody's going to take a look at your film and nobody's going to fund it. What is a treatment? You know, what does it look like? How I like to look at a treatment plan is that it's like an essay. So your funder is going to tell you, well, we want to see your plan of what your film is going to look like. And that's what it is. It's called a treatment. A treatment is about 5 pages long. It's actually describing your whole film in 5 pages in writing to your reader. And hopefully the reader or the director or the funder can actually visually see through writing what your film looks like. And that's what a treatment is all for. So basically you're going to have to describe a scene. So you're going to say, well, the girl walked onto a beautiful white sand beach in the sunset. And as she walks upon the shores, a drone shot will capture her and give a bird's eye view of the location of the beautiful beach she's on. You know, so you really got to kind of go into describing, and it kind of it like in a book form, but then also you're going to give the mechanics of how you're going to be able to make those scenes happen. You're going to have an intro, you're going to have your body, and you're going to have your conclusion. Now all this is going to take 5 pages or less, no more, for a reader to read what your film is about. And then sometimes in this pre-production stage is that you're going to have to even do storyboards. Storyboards is you're going to do these little drawings that of your main scenes or your main parts that you actually wanted to capture when you're filming. So it'll actually be an image of what your lens, when you're actually going to be filming in your production stage, that is actually, you want to focus on that and bring that to life. And these storyboards will sometimes help you to get funding for your film. You know, for me, over 20 years, I had to keep organized, you know, in my media management. Media management is very important. It keeps you very organized. And if you can't hold and keep your files organized, it'll be very difficult to create a documentary. It will be very difficult to create a film with files everywhere. And you can get files misplaced, you can get files deleted, and when files get deleted, these are scenes that cost money and time. And sometimes we don't have that to go back and refilm these. And it does happen, but I want to try and help you so you have less mistakes and you can be more prepared and what to do if these things arise. And I want to share that with you. Aloha no kako. I just wanted to remind you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hawaiian in the City, if you would like to join me and watch more videos of my episodes of how to film in Hawaii 101. I'm going to let you get back to the video, but until next time, ahui ho. You know, when you're creating a film or you're creating an idea, that's an expression of yourself. Basically, if you have never done art, for me, I'm an artist, I paint. So when I create a documentary or when I create any kind of film, that's my canvas. So whatever you're gonna see, that's pretty much my canvas, right? You've seen my art. And you want to make sure that when you show your canvas that people want to buy your art, interested in it. You don't want to be like some art people are just walk right past, they don't give it the time of day. So you don't want to be in that category. You want people to be attracted to your art, stop, really look at it and think about why this person did it. And that's what I want when I create my films, is that I don't want people to just walk by and be just like, okay, that was okay. we'll move on to the next. But I want them to actually, something that they see in my art, that it will actually be very unique for them to stop, take a look at it, and try and figure it out. So my canvas is the screen, right? I painted my art. And then your palette, like if you have a palette, your paints are all your different subjects, right? Or all your different interviews. And then you as an artist is going to grab more blue, more red when it needs to, more here, to make it pop, to make it come to life, to make it important. Highlights, and really it's highlights. Like you make a highlight, when you paint and stuff. And that's what you want to do. You want to highlight different parts. That's very important. You want to make this scene more dark because it's more serious, and then you can do more light. So it's like a palette of painting. And you are an artist, and you're going to be painting with media, and you're going to be using not only paints, but you're going to be using images, voices, sounds, all to create this emotion, this expression of what you're trying to get across to the audience. And the best people who master it is that when you can watch a film and you're not really thinking about the sound, you're not really thinking about the music, you're thinking about the content of what people are saying. Because when the audience get caught up with all this extra bells and whistles, is what we call it, then they're not really focused on the film. The film is the story. That's the most important. It's not about what kind of subject you have and the star who's going to be in it. No, the story can be so valuable, so personal, so strong if the message, if the character is the right person. So they don't have to be a movie star. Never think that your film have a movie star that will make it a great thing. No, you can have a homeless guy, and if he has a good personality and he knows how to tell a story and he's an interesting character, you got something. That's the art about filmmaking, and that's why I'm kind of sharing it with you. And I hope this information can be very valuable, because nobody really taught me how to do it, and where I was at a certain stage. I did travel all over the world. By my producers, I was sent all over to New York, Boston, being mentored by all these different directors, producers, and networks, in order for me to come up with my bottom line conclusion of what I was going to film. But if you can be very specific about what your film is going to look like, then it's going to help for you to get funding. So with that, I just hope that anything that I shared with you about pre-production helps a little bit in helping you to plan your projects and being very successful in it. My next thing that I'm going to talk about, and my next episodes, is going to be part 2. And that's going to be about your production, and part 3 is going to be your post-production. That's when you're editing. That is the part that I love to do because I'm an editor. So I'm very passionate about it, and I want to share some of my skills and some of my experiences with you to help you complete your film. And then lastly, I wanted to also create another episode about budgeting. Budgeting is going to take its own just for me to explain it. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy because, I'm here in my own studio. I get to do whatever and say whatever I want. And I want to make sure that you have that opportunity. So I just wanted to say thank you once again for tuning into episode 3, which is pre-production. I hope the information I provided for you is going to help you to create your film. There's going to also be part 2 and part 3. Part 2 is going to be your production stage. Part 3 is your post-production stage. I can't wait for that because that's where your film comes together in editing. I am an editor, so when I hear about editing, I get so excited because it's the most important part in putting the story together and how to do it. So I just want to remind you, if you haven't, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hawaiian in the City. It just helps me to grow my channel and also share about filmmaking, share about my experience to the world. So I just wanted to say mahalo nui for listening to me, for allowing me to be on your cell phones, for being on your computer, welcoming me to your home, your job, wherever. I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. It really, really means a lot to me. But until next time, my name is Keoni Alvarez from Hawaii. Ahui ho!